enormous fight in Vegas on Saturday night with Pacquiao and Mayweather, plus NBA, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball going on.
Kentucky Derby?
Excuse me, I almost forgot. Kentucky Derby is next Saturday as well.
Yeah.
So it's a fabulous weekend. The fight is fascinating. Everyone knows this fight is going to set all kinds of records for hype, for interest, and for money. The question is, will it do anything larger for boxing? We had Jim Lampley, the voice of boxing on HBO and the voice of most of the really big fights in recent memory, live with us late yesterday on the program. We asked him that question. Will this make a difference for the sport? Here's what he said.
I don't know. And on my studio show, The Fight Game on HBO, I said last week, that's one of the giant questions. Is there more interest in Canelo Alvarez, the number one Mexican brand in the sport, fighting the following week in a baseball stadium in Houston because people are paying attention to Mayweather Pacquiao? I don't know that. Is there more interest for the sport's number one knockout artist and most sensational phenomenon of the last couple of years, Gennady Golovkin, looking for his 20th knockout in a row in the Forum on May 16 because this is taking place 2 weeks before? I don't know. It could be just the largest ever blip on the graph in terms of real interest in the sport itself. And I do think that there's a definite separation between the phenomenon of Mayweather-Pacquiao and the overall attraction of boxing. And we're only going to have to observe as time goes on to see if there was any real connection between the two or whether we go back to being this sort of ignored and disparaged corner of the sports world once this one weekend has gone by.
What a great answer I thought that was from Jim.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed our conversation with him. He's a very smart guy. And I think he put it exactly right. I'll be fascinated to see if there is any I'm not sure what the word is, any carryover, any hangover effect, but in a positive way.
Yeah.
Will people watch this fight and will it matter if it's a great fight? Do you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
If it's a great fight, people are going to buy and watch this fight that might otherwise never watch a fight. It's like people watching the Super Bowl who might not ever watch a football game otherwise. You're just watching because it's something everyone's talking about and you're going to become a part of it.
Exactly.
Will any of those people say, hey, this is exciting. I enjoy the sport. I enjoy the sweet science. I enjoy the extraordinary energy. It's a unique energy in the room when there's a fight going on. I don't mean in the arena itself, but even in the room where you're watching sometimes. So will they say, hey, there's another fight coming up next week. Maybe I'll be interested in that. I have no idea what the answer is. And as Jim said, neither does he.
Yeah, I obviously it's a wait and see. If we were to ask to give percentage, I think it's on the low percentage that it has carryover. Now, if this fight happened 5 years ago and it was a good fight, what's the first thing everybody would be saying?
The rematch.
When's the rematch coming? 5 years ago, these guys could have set up 3 fights, but obviously that time has come and gone. So I don't know if it does. I really, really don't know if it's going to bring people back to boxing. If you made me give you an answer, I would lean more toward no.
87%. Let me say that again. 87% of all tickets bet on the fight have been bet on Manny Pacquiao. However, 78% of the money bet on the fight has been bet on Mayweather. So to make it simple, people are betting on Pacquiao.
Right.
But the real money is being bet on Mayweather. You walk in there with, a $20 bet and you're betting on Pacquiao.
Yeah.
The people betting thousands are betting on Mayweather.
Yeah.
So that's where the money is right now as far as Vegas is concerned. One more I wanted to play you from Lampley because it's pretty obvious to see the Pacquiao is the guy with everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Right.
He's got 5 losses in his career.
Right.
He's already been humiliated. I mean,
he has.
The last time he got knocked flat out, he was a meme everywhere.
Uh-huh.
So, he's going to make a fortune. If he wins, it's incredible.
Right.
And if he loses, so long as it's respectable, he was expected to lose.
Absolutely.
For Mayweather, he's got everything in the world to lose. We all understand that. Mm-hmm. What does he have to gain? Fascinating answer from Jim Lampley.
It's very clear to me that Mayweather has set up a path to getting to 50-0, which would surpass the most famous unbeaten record ever for an American boxer, Rocky Marciano's 49-0. You'll recall that Larry Holmes got to 48-0 and lost to Michael Spinks. So people have stumbled on this 49-0 thing in the past. And it looks to me as though Mayweather's plan, if he wins the next 2 fights, that completes the Showtime contract at 49-0. meaning that the chance to go 50-0, he's a free agent in every way. He's a free agent promotionally, television, et cetera, et cetera. The 50-0 fight would be something for which networks and pay-per-view enterprises would have to bid. And the kind of money that he's making for this fight, he may be able to dwarf that with the 50-0 fight.
Can you imagine that?
That's stunning. And the money he's making for this fight could be upwards of $200 million.
That's what I've heard. I've heard he could make $200 million.
So if that were to do, if the 50 would dwarf that,
they've got to find the right person.
Well, they absolutely do. But the timing of it, and listen, Mayweather, for all you want to say about him, he's a smart guy. He knows what's going on in that sport, and he knows to be a free agent for fight number 50, just as Jim said there, of what that could do for him and the bidding war that could be going on to get number 50. But I agree with you. It can't be as in the boxing term, the tomato can.
Right.
It's got to be.
If he's fighting, if they can find a way to find an attractive fight for him, be it with a name people know, or if there's a young up and comer, and I'm not well versed enough to know who that person would be right now. But if there's a young up and comer that people think of a real shot, then you could make that into as big a fight in its own way as this.
Sure,
I mean, this has sort of a uniqueness to it because Pacquiao is such an institution.
Well,
but you could make that a huge fight.
I think the answer to this one as well is we've been trying to do it for 5 years. I think that's added to it. But I agree. With the right person, you could make 50 incredible.
All right. Would you like to go to the ESPYs? We have a sensational trip to the ESPYs that'll include your chance to hobnob with the biggest names in sports. All you have to do is hear the winning word and enter it. I'm going to give you the winning word coming up in the next few minutes. So if you want to win this contest, just be listening in the next few minutes. It couldn't be easier. We have that, plus reasonable comments about Tim Tebow,